Phil just told a great joke about his mother-in-law. Yeah.
It never ends.
Monster-in-law, shall we?
Yeah, it never ends when you're married. I could almost flatline at this second at the thought of it.
Yeah. I had to,
Not sponsored.
Take
not
a sip of
sponsored.
my non-sponsored
Non-sponsored.
Fireball.
Well, listen, that will certainly, a couple shots of that will allow you to live well above.
You can't even fucking speak right now.
Oh, I'm a little-
sorry.
I'm a
That's
little-
another. You're gonna have to bleep that out.
Another edit.
Sorry.
Testing.
I was about to say, what are you?
Well, listen, I am living well above the flat line right now. You have been in complete command and control
I have.
for the last 8 videos or so. You've been weaving a narrative on the channel for the last 8 or so videos. I have no idea what we're gonna watch today. They have no idea what we're gonna watch. So it's my reaction to whatever narrative it is that you are spinning here.
Correct.
All right.
So the video I chose today is a video very much geared towards you.
Holy mackerel.
I found this video and I just thought, hey, Phil would probably like this.
Okay.
So,
We gonna get into it?
sure.
All right.
Fantastic.
Well, let's get busy.
Shall we?
Recently, there's been a lot of articles pointing out how men are far less emotionally intelligent than women and how that's been ruining their relationships.
Oh, yeah, I always say the wife's more intelligent than me. Emotionally, of course.
It's unfortunate, but it's a department that we lack in. Last week, we're at the airport. Our plane gets delayed an hour, whereas my natural instinct would be to say, it is what it is, there's nothing we can do. Brittany had the emotional intelligence to realize this is a big deal. We should be arguing with anyone who will listen, and in general, just going ballistic, regardless of whether or not it'll help.
Look, it's not about whether or not it helps.
No.
For example, say you plan an outdoor event and it begins to rain. An emotionally unintelligent person like myself might suggest some sort of alternative or contingency, or maybe
Guilty.
we'll do it on another day, as opposed to realizing that this is in fact the end of the world and you should be flying off the handle.
Whether you're reading an article about COVID coming back or your Uber Eats driver brings you the wrong order, we as men do not have the emotional intelligence to realize that not only is this something we should be freaking out about, but we should also be becoming actively hostile. Recently there's...
While you were
YouTube.com/TheBoysCast, as you saw on the TV screen.
Okay.
That is who these people are.
okay, so
I don't watch them. I just came across them.
nice comedic take on the male-female dynamic of how we approach and address things. Now, you're going to learn a lot of this when you couple with somebody and decide, I am going to ruin the rest of my life by marrying this person.
Oh, you got it. Great.
Which, of
Looking forward to
course,
it.
as you know, I am being completely facetious on this. But, the funny thing is, even if you get someone like myself who has an outstanding spouse, the word partner is used often in modern society, but, if you, depending upon the ideology to which you subscribe, if it's more of a conservative, traditional perspective, the woman is a helpmate to the man and therefore submits to the station of the man.
Didn't I tell you Phil was going to like this video?
Yeah, I know. I'm going a little bit down the rabbit hole because there's a little bit
Didn't I
of
tell you?
psychology and philosophy behind this. I love the comedic take on it
Yes, of course.
because that is exactly how women react. Fly off the handle, go crazy, nuts, get emotionally unhinged, which is why in all these movies, and that's what we were kind of touching on in the last several videos that we did together, the girl boss, right? And Kathleen Kennedy in her movies. You haven't watched Star Wars. So the Rian Johnson movie, which was the second movie in the new trilogy sequel. So that was, look, I can see, you don't even remember. That's how bad it was. All right, The Force Awakens, The Rise of Skywalker. I didn't even know what the one in the middle was now because they're meaningless. Right? Do you see what I'm saying?
I'm trying to wait.
It was the one where they built up the big baddie villain, and I only watched this yesterday. You see what I'm saying? That's why.
Jamie, pull that up.
That's what makes the girl boss idea so ridiculous. Because in the second movie, not The Force Awakens, the next one after that,
Sorry about that.
the men in that movie fly off the handle. They don't have control of their emotions. And all the women in these movies, they stay focused. They stay level-headed. They're thinking about, and it's always the women that are coming
Rogue
up.
One, Last Jedi,
No, it's not.
Rise of Skywalker.
All right, it was.
It was Rogue One.
No, it was not.
Right?
Rogue One.
No?
Do you see
No.
what I'm saying? This is how bad it is. Okay? It was The Force Awakens. Actually, it was The Force Awakens. It was The Last Jedi, and then The Rise of Skywalker.
The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. That's what.
Right.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
that's how bad the new sequel trilogy is. Because in The Last Jedi, okay, Rey does not have a character arc. She has a character upward incline. She just keeps getting better and better and better, and everything she does not learn anything, doesn't make any mistakes, level-headed, thinking through everything, and all the men are out of control and unhinged.
So I've never watched the movie, but when I first saw the trailer for the first sequel movie,
Which was The Force Awakens.
correct, and
The-
they showed
A New Hope Redux.
they showed the black gentleman. I don't know his name.
Yeah, Boyega.
Yes. So I thought what they were going to do was that he was a stormtrooper turned Jedi Master. And I thought that would have been such a really cool idea like he would have been the new Luke Skywalker kind of. And I thought that would have been a really cool idea.
Listen, a fifth grader could have wrote a better movie.
And they just completely didn't do that. And
Listen, if you wanted to subvert the expectations of the
sorry, real quick. As a new fan, that would have actually caught my interest.
Ha!
Because I would have been like, oh wow, this is a lowly stormtrooper that no one gave a shit about is now a Jedi Master. He's taking down everybody. You know what I mean? That would have been interesting to me for someone who doesn't care about Star Wars.
It would have fit their narrative that anybody which I don't believe. The Force is stronger in certain to sensitive folks.
with mild to severe arthritis.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Luke or Ben or any of those guys had any, or autoimmune conditions or, repetitive injury syndromes.
It's safe to say they did.
Okay, that open them to being sensitive Force users. I don't know. But anybody could have done better with those movies. You could have taken the Last Jedi movie and had Rey and Kylo Ren band together.
And
she
bang.
And she
And bang.
And she turns.
And bang.
We don't have to get it there. She turns.
And bang.
She is a Palpatine.
So?
How did you turn this into an OnlyFans discussion about Rey?
Guys, put a comment down if you want to see Rey and Kylo Ren bang. Okay?
But you could have taken Rey and you could have taken Kylo Ren. Rey could have turned to the dark side since she's a Palpatine. And then you could have had the Luke Skywalker character and Leia and everybody else have to mobilize to bring her back to the light.
Are you talking about John Boyega?
John Boyega.
He would have been.
He could have been.
He could have been the
he
Luke.
could have-
That's what I'm saying.
He could have been our hidden Jedi.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know how we drew a line between that video about men and Star Wars.
I don't
but
know
I'm glad
either.
we did.
You're still thinking about the last video with Kathleen Kennedy. That's why.
I am.
Oh, my God.
But I think, you know what it is? It speaks to a social narrative right now that movies are destroying men, making men look like they're not level-headed, they fly off the handle, they can't control their emotions, and they have to turn to a woman to fix all the problems. And though there may be some women in society that happens, generally speaking, women are looking for men that are 6 feet, make 6 figures, and have a 6-pack.
Not me.
Well, that's what a lot of these other channels say about women. I don't know. I'm out of the game like almost 20 years, baby. Okay? I'm almost out of the game 20 years. When we get into some of the other content that I'll bring you, we could talk about all that great stuff about modern women and dating, because we cover all of that eclectic topics on this channel. And the unfortunate thing is nobody likes, shares, and subscribes to see that eclectic content.
If you like, share, and subscribe, I'm going to be really sad.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
No, it's not
It
good.
would help the channel, but don't do that.
Join us next time where I sign Phil up for AARP.